But we are not out of the woods yet. The Teladi are actually responding pretty well, because in both sectors they have deployed counterattacks. So we have a large fleet moving into Patriarch's Keep, and a rear guard is meeting my force in Rise Desire. And all we can do is to destroy this outpost here, which will cost them some critical components for their ship production. But then we might want to retreat, because those big ships are coming. So they still got some fight in them. But at least we could secure this breachhead, and I'm actually starting to place some factories down. We want to keep this sector long term and build up our economic presence, but I'm not gonna use the architect, the automatic station placement. I'm building those stations manually, because I want to place them a bit behind the gate and behind the laser towers. Now, which kind of stations do we need? So far I have focused heavily on the higher tier ship production parts. So in the factory construction screen you get this overview how many factories of each type you have in your property. Let's actually retreat the fleet first. We tell them to retreat back to Midnight Star. This is a new command, retreat in formation. It's a bit different to the flee command, because retreat keeps the fleet formation. And with the enemy coming for us, we can make a nice turnaround and flee back to the east gate without breaking up our fleet formation. Now it might already be too late for that. Let's see if we can get away from them. Probably not when we are in the sector, so I'm gonna get out. And they got us. We weren't fast enough, so we're gonna attack. And maybe lose this entire fleet. And up here we still have some time. The outpost is damaged. And the enemy battle group is coming in from the north. So they organized pretty fast after entering this sector, and that's why we could not retreat our fleet. Now it would probably succeed, or it had succeeded, if we used the flee command, because this will break fleet formation and make every ship just get the hell out of there. And the fighters would fly ahead and they would definitely get out. But it's also a bit risky in case they catch the flagships, the cap ships which are flying behind, and then we would lose them. And this way we still have a chance to win this, even though we will suffer losses. So this frigate is gone. But I think we are powerful enough to make it. Just need to keep an eye on that other fleet so that they don't get catched. Because that battle group is no joke. I'm gonna put the Teladi outpost on the monitor. They are banging me up pretty good at this point. So it's gonna be a fight of attrition. A long-term slugfest. I think I still have Marines on this ship, so maybe we just launch a boarding operation. No, he doesn't have the boarding pods. So we lose the rest of our Marines right here. That was some poor planning on my end. We definitely need to ramp up our ship production after this. Let's actually do that. So I'm already building a few more corvettes to go raid the Teladi territory. And in the other shipyards we will produce a few more ships for the Trinity fleet, which is in the other sector. Working on that Teladi outpost right now. And we're gonna build like 6 heavy Ospreys. And a loop production of the Perseus fighter. Ramping up our power. Because we need to keep the pressure on the Teladis while they are still weak. Now, about those factories. I am building the more basic factories in this sector, which is serving as our fortress. So like protein paste factories and food factories, chem labs and teladianium foundries, stuff like that. And we will place them like in this area here behind the south gate, so that our agents who are coming in from the south don't have to cross the danger zone where the Teladis might be coming. So we killed that fleet, and we even have a surviving frigate. So we just go back on invasion duty. Start killing those factories. Outpost is nearly down. And here you can see 2 militia fighters. These are coming from the fortress perk. So it's just a very cheap defense against the smallest targets. They are just respawning for free. And I believe they don't even cost upkeep, but you cannot take them in another sector. They will self-destruct if you try that. Now let's actually hop into a faster fighter, like this Perseus. And this is the retreat command in action. So our fleet from the other sector, our invasion fleet, I have told them to retreat to Midnight Star, and even though many military ships have passed them and the followers should attack according to the fleet settings, when the retreat command is running on the command ship, then the followers will stay with him. So that's sort of a soft retreat, you could call it. So it's not the full-on panic mode where you just want every individual ship to get out there as fast as possible. You still want the fleet to stay together, but still get out. That's where the retreat command is best used for. And what we can also do is get some OCV ships into the mix. If we build them in this sector, we have about 4 hours operation time. So let's build a T destroyer. Actually build 2 Ts. We can afford them. Here's that battle group and another large fleet right there. And I believe they must be headed to Thorok's Pride. So we do have raiding fleets up here in this isolated Teladi sectors, just hunting their freighters. Then we have one in this area. And their settings are, whoa, those guys are actually doing a very good job. Almost cleared out the entire sector of Teladi freighters. And their settings are to monitor those 2 sectors. And once they have cleared this sector, they will continue here, which is also not very well defended at this point. Then we have right here in Thorok's Pride light water is being raided. And we have a fleet in Midnight Star to catch any crossing ships. Now our main fleet can help to invade Rise Desire. Stay away from those powerful fleets for now. Just grinding down their stations. We cannot invade Light Water yet because the Telades have just recently conquered it from the Borons. And it's still a protectorate for a little while longer. Rolk's Fate also allows us to produce OCV ships with a 3-hour operation time. Yeah, let's get that. So we have all our shipyards in the mix. You can start building some more corvettes for that fleet which took those many losses. I'm just queuing up a bunch of Paranid Proteus corvettes. You can just keep building them. And I'm just hanging out, leading a small fleet of fighters and just scouting what the enemy fleets are doing and killing a few freighters by myself. So you guys got into a major fight. Yeah, because I didn't activate your retreat settings. Fortunately, there is a trading station in the sector, so a quick flee command to all ships lets us dock there. And then we will reconsider. Now this guy got away. But not for long. Yeah, it's also nice to have these trading stations within enemy territory as sort of a safe haven. We also still have our patrol fleets holding off the pirates from Yaki territory, just to keep our space clean. Oh, I should deploy another one down here. There's a trading station that my freighters are frequently visiting. But the Borons have expanded so much that the pirates are not making it as far, so it could also be fine. Alright, so those battle groups are now headed for Rise Desire, where all of my ships are concentrated, so we could enforce a big battle, especially if we have some more hacking going on. There's also a big ship here. One of their leading flagships, the Pteranodon. Always nice to pick them up when they are isolated like that, but my leading frigate is gone on this fleet. So we are starting to lose ships left and right, and it might be better to wait until all those reinforcements are ready before committing to the next major fight, especially those OCVTs would just make short work with the enemy. Yeah, that's probably for the best. Now we have 2 TLs. This makes the station production quite easy. Remote drop station, and then we place them in a nice orderly manner. Again and again, right here. Then you can head back home and return to your architect duties. And the second TL is building those food factories a bit further down. And again, one right here. And the last one right here. Then you go back. We still have 3 station slots ready, and the sector has the full sun intensity, so we might as well build solar power plants there. Now this Teladi ship is causing more trouble than I had hoped for. He basically wiped out the entire fleet in this sector. Only a handful of fighters are left. So that was way worse than expected. And we might as well merge the survivors into our main fleet. Just condense all our forces. Make them easier to manage. We also lost our satellites. We still have our landed ships, so let's take a peek. Yeah, that battle group is coming for us. So let's get back to the safety of Midnight Star. Maybe we can kill one more factory here, but then we have to go. But it's going pretty well. I mean, we are losing ships left and right, but in general the enemy is suffering more material losses. So in the long run, we should be fine. Up here, our raiding fleet got finished with killing the freighters, and now they have gone to this sector and encountered this border patrol, which is still responding to our raiding in Tears of Greed. And I'm gonna get the new OCV fleet, put them up here and try to cut off the way back for the Teladi border patrol. When they see that there are no more enemies in Tears of Greed, they will go back and our Ts will be waiting here and take them out. So this will be another major material loss for the enemy. Now we need to keep an eye on our main fleet. I'm trying to get rid of one more station before finally leaving the sector. We also have a raiding fleet which has picked up enemies in Contorted Dominion right here. So I just told them to go raid any Teladi sector where there is no major enemy presence. So like no M7 or bigger in the sector. And they just picked that up, that the sector is not very well defended. I mean, we do have some corvettes, but they should be able to handle it. And then they will also start killing freighters here. And this will really confuse the Teladi and send their fleets all over the place. Very effective for us. The Borons are here. Right here in light water. They want to get their sector back. Well, that's definitely justified, since they held it before. And we have another Teladi police squadron that we can cut off and exterminate with the help of our Boron friends. Another loss for the lizards. This really adds up. Now it's getting a bit scary with those battle groups. I'm gonna pull my fleet back. telling them to retreat back from Rise Desire because the enemy is coming. I'm not seeing him, but he is there. Let's get him, boys. What are you waiting for? Something is messed up with your settings because you're not engaging. Hopefully not a bug, only a wrong input on my end, but I'm gonna check that later. Are you getting out? Yes, you are. The radars have killed those escorts. That's also very nice. Small little stings like that. And we are on our way. Now the T's are ready. Let's make them join up. The lead ship is up here, and once we have gathered all three of them, then we head over to Queen's Harbor. And when the border patrol is coming down south again, then we will take them out. So we have about 3 hours on those T's. And you can see that timer if you go into the ship information. Then you have the flying time. So 14 minutes for this guy. And 3 hours is not very long, but this also makes the ship very cheap. For the OCV ships, the more signals, abnormal signals your sector has where you build the ship, the OCV ship, the less time you have before it turns on you, but it also makes it cheaper. And 3 hours is enough to get into Teladi space and wreak some havoc. And once our OCV destroyers turn on us, they will still be inside Teladi space and cause them trouble. So this is a solid strategy. Pretty close call in Rise Desire. The enemy battle group is incoming, wants to intercept us, but we will be getting out. If we had stayed and tried to destroy that other power plant here, then they would probably have catched us. It's a good decision there. Now this sector is clear again, so we can pull back our... I actually already sent those radars on their way again, which were docked at the trading station. So back in Midnight Star again, and we can blast the enemy with an EMP. My fleet is docked at the outpost. It will be shielded, but the enemy will lose his shields. And then we tell our fleet to attack all enemies. Let the fleet join in. And I believe their bigger ships should also be vulnerable for another hack. We didn't scan this one. Emuse is still too far away. Yeah, but this guy. Weapon system 28771. Installing the backdoor. And then we go to the hacking station, uploading the weapons virus. And take one of them out of the fight. Now we have to be careful, because my own shields are down. Gonna scan this carrier here. Maybe we have something against him in our toolkit. Yes, we have. 13202 is the port for the hacking system, for the weapon system. And we do have, yeah, shields are already down. Let's quickly upload the weapons virus before he can do more damage. It's the Emuse. That ship is also down, and we do have those ravens here. Where we have access to the shield system, which is good for this guy because he entered after the EMP blast, so 44196. And we can shut down his shields here. All right. Going to the hacking station. Shield virus. No, not that one. I believe we don't have a shield virus with the correct attack vector yet. That's the problem. But we should be able to damage his hull. 21223. Nope, also no virus for that one. Forgot to develop the correct vector attack. But we should be fine. Our fleet is able to handle this. One of the big boys going down. We also have this radar fleet who was retreating from another place, so we can tell them to help us attack these guys. I'm gonna override their retreat settings for now. So that they help us get these guys down, man. It's really not funny anymore. And we have to take off the gloves. So our T's are in the sector where the border patrol is. So let's mess them up. And then we are gonna go after the outposts. The Teladi outposts are our most important target at this point. Just destroying their resources. We don't know how large their stockpiles are. And with every destroyed outpost, they will be losing lots of material. Also check out our shiny new Paranit corvettes. Finally getting into battle like a true believer. Their stats are not the best. But since we are a Paranit, we should be using Paranit ships, right? Now let's hop over into our OCV ships. Should be fun because they have high alpha strike potential. They are basically deleting those Teladi corvettes or even their frigates in one salvo. But their rate of fire is quite abysmal. And damn, they have lots of missiles, those Teladis, man. Make sure our fleet turrets are on attack mode. Yeah, now I'm taking friendly fire. That's not good. Yeah, it's so over for these guys, man. They managed to drain the shields of one of the T's. And that took like half a dozen of their cap ships and like 20 corvettes or something. So it's just over for you guys, man. Going straight for your outposts, and one of these T's can already head over and destroy the next outpost in the other sector. This is just wild, man. We are suffering so many losses. This will leave us vulnerable, and then other factions might sense a weakness and declare war on us. So I completely underestimated the Teladi. They already have like 2 more battle groups already built up. In Contorted Dominion. They are just churning those ships out like no tomorrow. And if we randomly check their outposts, they seem to be lacking hull plating the most. But then again, you also find places where hull plating is still available sometimes. Like this one. But they are going down, so I think all this heavy rebuilding of ships will eventually dry up. I just got a feeling that this will work, this long-term grinding down their resources, but you can't be sure, and if it goes wrong, then we will be terribly weak. I mean, we had 2 fleets with about 1,000 battle value each. Now we are down to 650 on our main fleet. We also have those OCV destroyers, but they are not permanent. It's only a temporary measure. And if you are weak like that, then the other factions are more likely to declare war. And especially the Borons, they are quite large now. And even if they are a peaceful faction normally, if there is a large imbalance of power, then you are just asking for trouble. But the good thing is that the Borons are also fighting with the Teladi right now, and that gives us a lot of loyalty for the Borons. Because we are destroying so many of the Teladi bigger ships, then we are already at 26 loyalty for the Borons. So we could think about buying some favors from them. It's looking so sad, our fleet. 30 fighters are left. 1 corvette and 2 frigates. And it's becoming harder and harder to tell yourself that all of this is worth it. But if it actually is, then the payoff is all that sweeter. Thank God we didn't lose another frigate. It's heavily damaged, but we'll go for repairs now. Yeah, we should be very careful at this point. Just focus on the north with our OCV ships, slowly kill their outposts and try to starve them out. But I'm simply not powerful enough to advance in the south anymore. We have to hold at Midnight Star and hope for the best. Start building more ships. We still have resources. I think I can pull this around, but this has really humbled me. So our T's got into a fight. Look at all of these ships, man. And they have another battle group built up here. I think the problem is that the Teladi have not been fighting pretty much anybody for as long as the game has been going on. That's like 2 days. And all that time they were just basically saving up resources. But I have also switched up my game plan. We are starting to send our fleet and specifically go after their hull plating production. So we have just destroyed one in Patriarch's Keep, and now we are heading up here and going after the outposts and the hull plating facilities. And if that doesn't starve them out, then I don't know. We will sue for peace at this point. So one of the T's is probably going to bite the dust here. But that's fine. I'm also rebuilding my fighters in all of my outposts. Just build them in smaller batches. And over time we should get back up our feet. Back to full strength. So we found their prime hull plating stockpile right here in Thurok's Pride. They have about 20,000 units, and I checked all other outposts I could see. There's only this sector down here where I don't have vision currently. And they only have like one other outpost with 2,000 units of hull plating. So if we destroy this one, then they should be out. Yeah, but we should not rush ahead because our other two T's are lagging behind. And a new fleet just entered the sector. We will have to fight them if we want to get the outpost down. Yeah, but I think this is really the last remaining target. The NPCs are cheating a bit in terms of moving their resources, so they only need hull plating in any of their outposts, and then they can sort of teleport it where they need it and build ships there. It's just a limitation. It would be absolute hell for us developers to make sure that the NPCs are moving their stockpiles in the right place. And you can see that they are constantly draining this one here as they are building ships. So when this outpost is gone, they really should be starved, man. Oh, and I did something that I didn't want to do. Stealing a Paranet ship. But I didn't really have a choice. We need more power. And I also want the design for a M2 ship which isn't OCV at this point. And that's why I have uploaded an oxygen virus to this Patroclus here. It has been bailed and we will claim it. And then I'm going to reverse engineer it. It will give us some more resources and we also get the blueprint for this ship. So that we are prepared once the war against the Teladi is finished, that we have a big ship type to build. So the Teladi have grouped up all their remaining military ships into one big fleet stack. And now they are chasing some raiders away who are fleeing the sector. And my main fleet has been destroying stations here and we have to retreat them through the south gate. Fortunately, there is a Terran memory in the sector. And we can take over this jump beacon and escape so that otherwise they probably would trap us here. So it's very fortunate that this jump beacon exists. The Teladi are at a point where they would actually accept a peace. So with a press of a button, we could make peace with them. But this would give us a non-aggression pact since they declared war on us. And this would prevent us from attacking them again for about a day or so. And I kind of want to push my luck further and take over their entire territory. We are not declaring a permanent war yet, because this would make their ships attack our freighters. And we are still frequenting their sectors with our non-military ships. And if they are not being engaged, it makes our life easier. So now the raiding fleet is gone and they will head over and try to intercept our fleet, who is making a run for the south gate. But we should be able to make it there.